guess we're ready.
All right. First topic.
Well,
I want Jaden to explain
No.
hunting with Mr. Gwinnett.
hang on. Let's try to explain what the heck is going on here. Let's give it a background.
Alright, so we're at my house right now. Just some good old boys around a campfire, and we decided to do this podcast just to tell our favorite hunting stories.
Keep in mind, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's a little late, but what a better time to do it.
Yep.
Just some boys hanging by a fire and a dog.
Hey.
Can't beat it.
It's got ash on it.
Sorry about that. Continue.
Well, what just happened?
I know my leg's hot.
Not a
It had an ember on it.
It had a piece of ash on the end of it that was burnt.
Well, there you go. The dog had a stick with.
We're off to a great start. We got a deer head here. Mr. Killer over there. Tell the story. Tell the story. Last night. Tell the story.
Yeah, so give us a rundown from last night.
Well, so today's November 3rd. Well, I guess it's the 4th now.
It's the 4th.
So yesterday was the 3rd. 2 days ago was the 2nd. And I was hunting a deer I like to call no man's land. Because, well, I don't know.
He was just in no man's land, y'all.
He just come in and my arrow went to no man's land. He came in about 20 yards and my arrow shot came out.
Came out sideways.
He came out like this. And he ran off. Had to get down. Shot my bow a little bit.
Went down, went to chicken shack.
Absolutely down there. Came back in this evening, or that evening, and this guy come down, made a scrape, and gave me a perfect shot at 20 yards. Heart shot him. He didn't even know what happened to him. And there he is, right there. He's just hanging out with us now. I'd take it. It's a win-win.
We rough scored him.
What was it? 111?
111. Rough score.
Rough score.
We think he's bigger than that, though.
Rough score 111. It's got a split brow on the left side. Gorgeous deer. Perfectly symmetrical on each side.
This guy wasn't even stoked about this deer at first.
It's not that I wasn't stoked. I was just a little bit in shock that I thought it was the 10-pointer I was after, and it was this 8-pointer. I mean, I'm happy now. I was just a little bit in shock when I went up to it and I seen 8 points on the deer.
I got up to the truck. He said, "Man, it's not the 10-pointer." I said, "Well, you still happy about it?" He said, "Man, I don't know." Did you walk past him when you got out? He laid his bow down and everything.
No. I literally got down the stand, walked as fast as I could, just looked at him like this and went, "Oh my gosh, that's an 8-pointer." And I didn't even look at him. I just seen he had 8 points. And
we walked up to the deer. I was like, "Man, I don't know why you ain't too happy about this deer. I shoot this deer 7 days out of the week." Crazy, man.
Jaden, what happened with your deer?
The one that got shot.
It wasn't my deer.
You know good and well that was your deer.
I mean, I'd shoot any buck that walks in front of me, but...
You've never shot a deer, folks.
Yeah. So I ain't got much to say here.
He's on the come up, though. He's got that bear dialed in.
Yeah, he does.
I'm on the way.
His gun's so dialed, the shell don't even come out. He just shoots and it goes boom.
He said, "I'm on the way."
I got one shot to make it happen.
Man, it's
Tell me
hot.
that. It is getting a little warm. We got a good bed of coals here.
We been
Jaden, I want you to... One story...
Let's talk ducks here.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at.
Enough about the deer.
I want us to
Even though
get
it's
at...
rough. Even though we got too many deer stories to count on one hand.
Last year's duck season, last day, when there was about, 7 of us out there at my lease?
There's a good bit of it.
There was a lot of us. So we're going to start with, I know you weren't there. I think you were filming somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
Jaden, you start with how crazy that morning was. You remember what morning I'm talking about, right? It was me, you, Cameron, Logan, and Charlie, and I think Coleman was there too.
Yeah, Coleman Johnson
was
there.
Yeah, so...
Well, not crap happened. Other
I shot a duck.
I mean, we didn't see nothing that whole morning, and then all of a sudden he go chasing some ducks down the river that we saw, and then when we got down there wasn't nothing down there, so we started walking back. And
then I had to go.
Okay, so
I had to go.
I ain't even done yet.
No.
mind you that this is a big stretch of creek that we're hunting on my lease, so we had split up into different groups on each. So.
And it was all flooded.
All flooded timber. So Jaden and Logan right here were hunting together. Me and Cameron were hunting.
No, I was hunting by myself. You were
Cameron
hunting with Charlie.
right. I was hunting with Charlie, and Coleman was hunting by himself. Another one of our buddies. So you're.
I guarantee you, I shot a whole box of shells. Didn't kill a duck. I don't know what happened. I shot a whole box of shells. Didn't kill a duck.
Y'all do have to understand. We are from Georgia. If we see a duck, that's a good hunt for us.
That's right.
So, if we get to shoot our gun,
Treetop high, we're shooting. Yep. Treetop high, we're shooting. We're sky blasters. Don't make fun of us. It is what it is.
Well, I thought when we went hunting with Charlie at your lease, we didn't shoot anything until we walked back from chasing those ducks.
I'm the only one that shot one.
No, me and
I was on a
Charlie
solo.
shot.
He was the only one that shot one.
Yeah, I went on a solo.
And that's when we were walking back.
I went on a solo.
No, but you didn't pull the trigger at all?
When that squirrel was on that tree, yeah.
Jaden shot a squirrel.
No,
He
but
did.
me
He
and
shot a
Charlie
squirrel.
probably shot combined 30 rounds. I mean, we were shooting at ducks left and right.
I shot a whole box of shells.
We didn't hit a single duck, but it was fun because they're all flying like mock Jesus. They're like hooded
On the treetops.
On the treetops, flying about 60 miles an hour. And so you see them for about a split second, pull up, shoot, and you're like, oh, I missed them. Next.
A few of them will dump in the hole, but that's about it. Most of them treetops. Very few and far between.
But yeah, tell them about the one that you killed. It's like very.
It was a poke. It was all. I went on a solo mission. It was all of us sitting on that one tree.
Yes.
We were sitting on one tree, and Logan was by himself. I went on a solo mission. My hat fell in the water. I know that. I was just walking around with my hood on, and I hear some wood ducks start screaming. So I was like, all right, here we go. They come at me about 45 yards. I was like, might as well. Last day of the season, might as well shoot. I shot, knocked one down, so I ran over to it, and he was still alive. So he was on the land, and he jumped down in the creek. So I probably shot this duck and made hear that fire right there. Well, that's real. I don't know how I didn't blow into pieces, but I didn't. So I had to jump down in the creek. I got wet that morning.
Never good.
And after I shot him at point blank range, he still wasn't dead. So
he missed, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I didn't miss. You don't miss at point blank range.
But he did.
Only
I'm telling you, this duck was from me to that fire right there. That's point and shoot.
All right, so back to deer. Cam, you had a shooter today. Probably one of the biggest deer you've seen on the farm.
I've been hunting this farm. My dad has had 2008. 2008 has had this. No, it's been longer. 2008 is when we got it. 2008. However, I was 5 years old. So, y'all do the math. 15 years.
So since 2008.
Something like that. Anyways, this is the biggest deer I've seen since I've hunted that farm. He was running a doe in a circle. Literally in a circle. Sounded like the whole woods were coming down. The doe stops 15 yards. She's in some thick stuff, and he's right behind her. So the doe takes off, runs about 60 yards. He's right behind her. He stops at 60 yards broadside. I'm like, should I shoot him or should I just let him go? So
meanwhile,
shoot him at 60 yards.
60 yards.
Yes. That's a poke. I was thinking that.
Hey, Logan.
But
60 yards.
I got 3 pins, 20, 30, and 40. Yeah. I'm just going to aim high and hope. That's all I can do. No, that's the last thing you do. Well, I let him walk on by.
You let him walk at 60 yards, folks.
Yeah, like he's confident to shoot 60 yards. That was the biggest deer I've ever seen on that farm.
What would you rough score him?
Okay, no, so take No. Hey.
What?
Listen.
None of y'all were there. 140?
I know. Listen, so take Bruce, for example.
Oh my gosh.
Compare him.
That size.
Wow.
I'm not lying to
grief.
y'all. I'm not lying to y'all.
Hey,
I've had the biggest deer on camera at that property, and he's that size. I'm not lying to y'all.
It's a nice deer.
You better be in the. I don't know why you're not in the woods tomorrow morning. You'd have to be up in 2 hours.
He's got a haircut at 10 o'clock, can't go. His mama made the appointment.
Mom made the appointment.
Remember, you got your hair appointment at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Don't forget.
You got that hair appointment at 10 o'clock in the morning. Don't forget.
Yeah, I don't have nothing going on, and I ain't hunting in the morning. We're feeling that deer's nose. Y'all ever felt the deer nose?
We know what you said before this podcast.
Y'all ever felt the deer nose before? It's hard to describe. What would you describe it as?
A ball sack. Is that demonetizable?
No.
All right,
Everyone has them.
That's one. I wouldn't say everyone.
You never know.
That's about what it feels. That's about what it feels like.
You never know in today's
Yeah, it's
day and
2023 right now.
Yeah, you never know.
Yep. It's something. Gender neutral. That's him.
But I mean, we all identify as alpha, male.
Beta.
Put the clip of the lat spread in there right now.
I got you.
What next?
What else?
Best hunting story. Let's hear it.
Best hunting.
All right, we'll
story.
start with you and we'll go around.
Well, I don't really know one off the top of my head, but I will explain Denver's hunt yesterday. Or it wasn't yesterday.
2 days ago.
3 days ago.
Yeah,
no.
3 days ago.
So I took my little brother hunting, and this is at my papa's house. I've been hunting this specific deer pretty much since I've had him on camera. End of September, early October, something like that. Big old 8-pointer, old massive deer. And I hunted him that morning, November 1st. It was like 30-mile-an-hour winds. Felt like 29 outside. I saw a spike. That was the only thing. So, came home, shot my bow, and was like, all right, I just need to get back in the woods. So I walked in my little brother's room, Denver, and I said, hey, we're going hunting. Let's go. And he said, dude, I have to study. I was like, I'm leaving in 10 minutes. I'm going to Papa's if you want to go. He said, all right, I'm coming. What should I wear? I gave him some camo.
What should I wear?
Some mossy oak. He don't know what to
Just wear some blue jeans out of there, Denver.
Clueless.
Wear some blue jeans and some red.
No. I actually seen some on TikTok. Like, deer can't, like, red blends. Like, they can't see red. They can't see red real well. But it's blue. They can see blue. They can see blue better than we can see blue.
Yeah, that's everyone. You've been known that.
No, I actually haven't.
I've been known that since I was about yay big.
Dude, I haven't.
Never wear blue.
Nope, I haven't.
So anyways, I take him hunting. We're in the stand for about 45 seconds. I'm sitting there ratcheting my camera arm, and I see a buck walking towards us. So I told Dimmer to get ready, and turns out it was just this little 7-pointer. And he's never shot a buck before, so I told him, if it makes you happy, we'll shoot him, and we'll get it on film, and it'll still be fun. But he was like, nah, I'm fine with letting him pass. He was like a 2-year-old, real young deer, so I'm glad he made that decision. And so we had a bunch of deer come out under us, like literally 5 yards from us, and at 5:50, a doe come running in, and I said, Dimmer, there's gonna be a buck behind her. And he just kind of looked at me. I said, Dimmer, get the gun up now. So he slowly gets the gun up. I turn the GoPro on, turn the secondary camera on, turn around, giant buck standing at 15 yards. I could have smoked him with my bow. It kind of sucks, but it's also I'm also very, very happy that I got to witness him shoot him. So I'm just as happy that he shot him. But he comes out 15 yards, took about 5 steps.
And then you just got lit up.
Anyways, Denver killed the deer. It was his first buck and one of the biggest buck in our house. One of the biggest deer in our house. So, congrats to Denver if you're watching this.
I'm one of those guys that like seeing other people shoot deer.
Yeah, it's like if you have a deer on. That's what I was telling him tonight. Like, if you have a deer on camera and you just want to get it killed, it don't matter who shoots it.
So like,
I mean,
You're happy.
I'd rather me shoot it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah,
if like, say your dad went out there or your brother went out there, you would be stoked for them either way.
Not for these two.
Not you.
Not for these two.
Not you.
okay, I will say this.
Nah,
I mean, Brooks said that I could sit and shoot possum tomorrow, and he'd tag him for me since I'm already tagged out.
I did say that.
He's been hunting this deer since the opening day. So
that's like with Glock.
Yeah.
How my buddy's granddad shot that deer.
Put
I
a
was
switch on
super
it.
stoked.
So is it my turn now?
Awkward
Go ahead.
silence.
So we're gonna take it back to
Duck or deer?
We're telling deer stories
We're
here.
telling deer stories
Deep,
right here.
deep.
Deep.
So-
The Deeps podcast.
Yep.
So we're gonna
That's
take
what
it
it
back
is.
to October of 2019.
Ooh.
Actually,
Long time ago.
the
That's a lot of years
The
ago.
hunting season of 2019. This is the second we had gotten on a lease, and this was the second year on our new lease. And so we had been my dad is a high school principal, and so we had been super late to, he had always been super busy, and I couldn't drive at the time for early season. And so we had been super late to hanging stands and putting up feed and hanging trail cameras and all that stuff. So we didn't do none of that stuff, the preseason preparation, until about the weekend before deer season started. Or 2 weekends before deer season started. And so we went the weekend before deer season started. And we checked the camera, and there's this giant deer on this camera. There's actually 2 of them. And both of them ended up getting killed by me. But they were both giants.
Not to toot your own horn or anything.
Yeah, he shot.
he shot
2 giants, folks.
No. I can't say it.
We won't say this on the podcast. Just
Keep going.
just keep going. Just keep going.
Hey, Joe. But, there was 2.
Edit this out. He shot 3 bucks that year.
Well, I'm not editing.
This is uncut.
No. One was in Tennessee.
One was in Tennessee, you
It
dummy.
was, yeah.
With his grandparents.
Yeah, I shot it with my grandparents. And so, got on a super late track that year and started hunting this deer hard. And so I didn't turn 16 until October, so I couldn't drive at all from the opening day of...
This is how old this is. He's a sophomore in college.
I'm a sophomore in college right now, so I was a sophomore in high school then, so this was 4 years ago. Didn't have a driver's license or anything, so I had to wait on my dad to get off work. And like I said, my dad's a high school principal, so he had to get off work later. And so we would always, if we did go hunt, we'd be getting in the stand early, or not early. We'd be getting in the stand late. So we hunted a few times. I ended up killing one of the hitless bucks September 17th. He went 132 and 2/8 with my bow. That was the biggest buck I'd ever killed at that time.
2/8, just like quarter.
It's 2/8 when you're measuring Boone and Crockett wise. It's 2/8.
What is Boone and Crockett? I know, like
100
score wise.
165 inch for for a typical, 185 inch for non-typical.
So it was Pope and Young.
Yeah, so
You said Boone and
He
Crockett.
said Boone and Crockett.
yeah, but
Okay,
that's how
okay.
you score the Boone and Crockett is the sheet that you
Yeah,
score on with
yeah.
Boone and Crockett. So
Okay.
first deer, Pope and Young, great deer, biggest buck I'd ever seen in my life. But I also had a bigger deer on
What
camera.
was that deer?
Huh?
Dookie? 8 ball?
Tall boy.
Tall
was the
boy.
first one I killed. And then so we had, I had a deer that I had named Goofy on camera, and he was a super wide 10-pointer. And we all hunt in Georgia, but this deer looked like a Texas deer. He was super wide,
Chocolate horns.
chocolate horn, all symmetrical. And I continued to hunt him, and then it was the opening day of rifle season, and it was October, I can't remember what day, it was like the last weekend in October, and he had walked out at the very last light. He had come in with a doe, not with a doe, he had come in, this was still when they were, just before they had gone into their rut stages. They were still in kind of bachelor groups when they're running with other bucks. He had come in with a 6-pointer, a young 6-pointer. It was right at last light, and I just had enough light to where I could see the 6-pointer. I walk out, and then I saw him walk out on the edge of the clear cut, and he walked out, shot him. First thing I did was I called my dad. I was like, hey, I just think I shot Goofy. I'm pretty sure I heard him crash, yada, yada, yada. And then I called my granddad. My granddad was the one who really got me into all the outdoors and stuff. He would take me hunting when I was a very young kid. So I called him. He was super stoked. So I waited at Papaw, yeah, my dad's dad. And so I waited at my truck for my dad to get there, and then my dad got there, and so we drove down to the food plot that we were hunting, and it was probably 30 yards down the trail. I seen a white belly, and I'll never forget this. I saw it, I turned around, I jumped up into my dad's arms like I was 5 years old again, and I almost started crying because it was the biggest deer I'd ever seen. He ended up scoring 142 in 6/8, I believe. It was still the biggest deer I've ever killed in my life.
Keep in mind, we're in like Middle Georgia.
Middle Georgia, so this is a giant deer.
This is a giant deer.
This is a giant deer for where we hunt. You don't see
Hey, she'll bite that ember and she'll learn real quick.
I know.
Just let her learn the hard way.
Yeah, like my hand.
So yeah, so where we hunt in Middle Georgia, this is a giant deer. So you only see one.
The
of these.
record in our county is like what, 170
like
something inches, 173 inches, I think.
Yeah, Jonathan Osteen is like 170.
Yeah, one of our high school
It was
teachers.
180.
No,
it's 170
like
something.
173 inches, something like that. So this is that's a big deer, but that's once in a lifetime to kill a 173 inch deer. And it was before that, I think the record was like 162 or
Jimmy Thomas.
Yeah, it was like 162 or 163 inches before that. And so that was really it.
It's hard to get over 130 where we live.
Yes.
Did you just say Jimmy Thomas?
Yeah, he had the previous state record.
Do you know where he shot that
Not
at?
county record.
County record, excuse me.
Did he shoot that on his property?
Mm-hmm.
Right beside your house. Your house.
Why am I hunting where I'm hunting then? I'm going to
How
the
much
crib.
camera battery we got?
Not enough, because
Good.
Brooks.
Your turn.
It's time to conclude the podcast, just because Brooks's story took 45 minutes.
did.
Sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
It's been 22 minutes. We're good. We got about 10 minutes left. We're just going to keep it short.
Okay.
Try to keep you entertained.
Sorry, everybody.
To my story.
It
So,
was a great story.
so this is a
Very
story of
proud.
my first deer, all right?
Oh, boy.
So,
No.
all right. So, me and my granddad love that man to death. Cameron used to always hunt with my dad. I used to
That's
always
Cameron, by the way.
This is Logan.
Twin
They're
brothers.
twin brothers.
Cameron used to always hunt with my dad. I used to always hunt with my poppy. Everything. So
We'd switch out every now and then.
yeah, but predominantly just hunt with my granddad. So we were sitting in this double ladder in a clear cut, and I remember we were sitting there. We had a cat come rolling by us. Watched the cat for a little bit. And I'm sitting there, and then he's smoking a cigarette. God bless him. He smoked so many cigarettes, it's not even funny.
He didn't even wear camo. He just wore blue jeans and like a flannel.
But
Always seen deer though.
we were sitting there in a double ladder. Stand we call Fat Tire.
Yep.
We're sitting there, and he done dozed off. He's snoring like a freight train, boy. I'm sitting there, I'm just looking for deer. I hear a stick break behind me. I was like, all right, here we go. Turn around. There's a deer. There's a big old doe standing there. So I wake him up, and I start nudging him.
Mention the part where he fell asleep.
Yeah, no, I said that.
He did.
I start nudging him, and he jumps out of his skin. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm like, hey, there's 2 deer behind us. He's like, all right. So they start coming to us. We had some corn out in front of about 15 yards.
It definitely was not legal back then.
In our zone it was.
No.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we hunt Taylor.
So yeah,
South,
it was
more
actually.
south,
Yeah.
We hunt Butler, Taylor
Southern
County.
South.
Taylor County. So the deer come to the corn, and they're coming around our right side. He's like, all right, get your gun up. So I got my gun up. Deer sitting there eating corn. Light was fading real quick. I could barely see the deer. And
Alright, light was fading quick.
Corn was legal.
Continue.
Light was fading quick. The deer,
okay, light was fading quick. Deer was eating corn.
biggest doe he's ever seen in his entire life.
Oh, dude, it was
Big nanny.
huge.
250 pounds. I mean, this doe was so big. She chased bucks around. I'm not even kidding.
Lady boy.
So I put my scope right behind the shoulder, the crosshairs, right behind the shoulder. I just squeeze off. Shoot the deer, it goes running. I'm like, all right, I think I hit it good. We get down and look for blood and everything. We don't find no blood. We're standing there in the corn pile where I shot the deer. Also we hear leaves crashing everywhere. He was like, oh well, there's your deer. I was like, all right. We walk over to it. Sure enough, she's sitting there dead. So Cameron, my dad, and everything, they come over to us. And we load the deer up in the back of the truck, get some pictures and everything. No, that was one of the core memories one of my best hunting memories with my granddad and everything. Never forget.
I don't know which story I want to tell. The one where I shot that 10-pointer with my dad, or the one I shot last year on last day of the season.
Probably with your bow.
Yeah.
Last clutch.
We'll go last day of the season. So I'm sitting on. It's the best stand on the property in the hardwood thicket on the ridge. Cars just lining up that evening. So.
Did you mention the date of this?
January 8th, which is the last day of the season for Georgia in the southern zone. I think northern zone is a little bit.
I think it's the 31st. I think it's the 31st.
Yeah, into January. But anyways, so I get on one of our best stands, actually the best stand on the property where I was sitting this evening where I seen that big buck. And so an hour and a half, maybe a little bit over than that, goes by. I'm seeing no deer. And all of a sudden, these two does come running up. And keep in mind, rut is way over. Rut's way over. And so these two does come up, and they're just running circles around me. Again, like last night. And so they finally stop in the corn and everything, and I'm sitting there, because I was going to shoot one. Keep in mind, I haven't shot a doe or a deer in general since I was in 9th grade?
Like 8th grade.
8th or 9th grade. It's been a while.
9th grade.
So I was going to shoot one of the does, so I was already clipped into my bow and everything. I was going to shoot one of the does. And I'm sitting there watching, and there's this bottom right below the corn pile. There's this bottom that drops off down to a creek bottom. And the does are like looking hard down this creek bottom. And all I see is they're looking, and I'm looking down there, and I don't see nothing. And then all of a sudden, all I see is like frame and tines. And so this buck is coming up the hill, and lights fading quick, really quick. And the doe's run off. He comes up to the corn pile. He's standing there for 1 second, so I draw back, and I just let it eat. Smoked him. He probably ran 30 yards down the hill, and he just piled up. Keep in mind, this is the worst drag ever, because he died in the bottom that I was just talking about where he came out. He died in the bottom. We had like a 500-yard drag back to the four-wheeler. It was horrible. But yeah, anyways.
One of our buddies threw up during the drag, by the way.
Threw up. Had to call in an A and a B team. You and Jaden. Yeah. That was a pretty cool day. Last day of the season.
Mr. Jaden Bowling over here.
All right.
Let's hear his best story.
So that concludes the podcast. I haven't shot any deer yet, so
he's working on it.
We're getting there.
Since you haven't shot a deer yet, whatever best hunting story you have.
Hey, you seen a huge buck one time, and I remember you snuck out the back door or something.
Yeah,
about to get
laid on the ground.
Whatever.
See, that's not a story I want to tell because I missed
he
them.
missed it.
So at my house, there's a bunch of pecan trees, and under the pecan trees, there's normally like 15 does that are normals, and they always come. And one time I looked out of my window because my window faces the pecan trees, and I look out one time, and there's about maybe a 6-pointer, but good enough for me right now. And I get out and I put my gun up on the trash can, and little did I know, I don't know how to really shoot a gun at that point. And I pulled the trigger, and
Hold on.
totally missed him, and I have no clue what I did wrong.
The trash can?
Yeah, on the trash can.
Was it the 6-pointer or the big one?
It was a 6-pointer. The big one was when I first hunted, like my third hunt ever, and then
What happened with that one?
So I had a,
Tell the folks.
I couldn't really see him, and I never had him on camera, but he was with a bunch of does, and I was in the stand, and this is like, keep in mind, it's my 3rd time hunting ever, so my mom.
All right, we're rolling.
Where were we at?
This is the No Man's
where
Land
were we?
podcast.
Where were we?
We're gonna
No,
wrap it
where were
up.
No, so the camera cut off at 30 minutes. We were trying to keep it short, but we don't have a editor behind there. So Jaden was in the middle of explaining his story, and the last thing you said, I think, was you had some regular does in your trees, Jaden.
Are we talking about the first one I missed or the second one I missed?
It's probably the first one. I think that's what you're talking about, under the pecan trees.
Well, should I just talk about
You shot it
the
off.
should I just talk about the mom story, or
yeah.
should I restart from there?
No.
Just talk about the mom, where you were at, like with your mom.
We're just wrapping it up.
His mom.
So what do you want me to say?
Start with the mom and then tell about the when
So
they-
anyways, I'm new to all this hunting stuff. I've been hunting for about 3 years now. Still hasn't shot a deer at all yet, just because I don't want to shoot a doe and I want some antlers on me. So
Say he wants to answer antlers about him.
okay, dude, pause. So anyways, my first deer story was, I'm sitting in the stand and I'm in my backyard. I got about 20 acres. And I'm sitting in the stand and I got a bunch of does. I got like 15 minutes till shooting light's over with, and got 15 minutes. Oh,
Keep going.
cut that, cameraman. Anyways, I'm out there hunting and I got about a bunch of does around me. I got 15 minutes till shooting lights up with, and I see this buck, and I haven't seen him on camera yet, and I couldn't really tell what he was because it was dark, but it was one that I would definitely wanted to shoot just because I haven't shot one yet. So he walks out and I'm waiting to get like the perfect shot, and meanwhile my mom is texting and calling and blowing up my phone, and I don't know it because my phone's on silent, and I can't really move because I didn't really want them on me or nothing. So I was waiting it out, and I had about 5 minutes till shooting lights up. And my mom comes out to the woodline screaming, "Jaden! Jaden!" And next thing I know, I look up and all the deer are just flooding to the right of the woodline.
Yep, just flood.
And they were gone. And that's all
That's
I
it.
got.
So that's pretty much going to wrap up No Man's Land podcast. This guy,
Excuse me, I had to take a potty break.
Shot 3 deer
Brooks
in
is
one
on-
season, $3.
Brooks is on the bow tomorrow.
he's
I am.
on the bow. Yeah, I'm behind the lens. We're going to one of his favorite spots on his property, and he's got 3 bucks that could potentially come out. And so we're excited. We're going to get about 2 hours of sleep. Probably not even that.
Not even that. We might not even get any sleep at
Staying
all.
up till sunrise.
But that's okay, because when we kill a deer, all that adrenaline will be just fine.
Yep. Here's the current time.
What time you got?
2:28.
So that's going to wrap up No Man's Land podcast. What do y'all have to say?
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Catch y'all on the next one. We will see y'all soon.
We're gonna have another one.
Next episode, we're going to talk about duck hunting.
Yep. Good night.
That's gonna conclude it.